Hi, it's Vex, and today we want to talk about mystical archives. That's right. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know I'm a collector and I like to collect sets of things. I have actually collected a set of all 63 mystical archive cards here. And before we go into discussion, mystical archives I think was cool in design, but they're not as cool as lottery cards. If you look at the first card, number one, Approach of the Second Sun, it's a mythic. Is it desirable? No. Is it cool to look at in this cool art? Yeah. But their approach was just to add one to every pack to juice up the Strixhaven packs because maybe they didn't have a good showcase card for them. So I was like, let's just put really semi-desirable cards and not desirable cards into these packs. Any desirable card is at essentially rare or mythic. There is no commons, so it's kind of weird. There's no commons. They've upped every common to uncommon, which are just essentially bulk because they appear so many times in packs. Any semi-playable card to rare, let's say Divine Strike is a common in a pack, they just made it uncommon. And the funny part is this wrecked, I'm gonna call it wrecked, let's say it wrecked the historic format, these cards, because if you needed a Brainstorm, for instance, in historic, it's a rare, so you gotta use a rare wild card, even though it's a common in packs. So that's pretty funny. So yeah, include one in every pack. I think you get about one or two per box. So these have their own rarity. Again, that's different from the regular pack rarity, and it's just another thing to work through as a collector, which is kind of frustrating. But I did collect this. They got me. I'm not gonna lie, they got me with the gimmick. I bought a lot of Strixhaven because of Mystical Archive, not really because of Strixhaven itself. That's probably a bad practice in the future because these Mystical Archive cards are essentially, a lot of them are bulk. So let's just actually go through them and talk about it. So let's go through the white ones. So I'm laying the white cards out here. I think there is 9, 10 of them. Oops, let's go here. I think there are 10, 11 of them. Okay. Let's go through the white. Let's go through each color and talk about it as we talk about the set in general. So here we have 11 white cards. The most desirable one is Teferi's Protection. And the funny part is it didn't really lower the price of Teferi's Protection. It has a really cool picture. I'm not really a fan of the yellowness because these are white cards, but they look yellow, and all the other cards look yellowish as well too. It's kind of weird. That's why I put this purple background. It makes yellow look better, I guess. So let's look at some of these cards. Approach the Second Sun is mythic. Horrible. I mean, why was it mythic? Day of Judgment is a mythic. So like, you can get Teferi's Protection or Day of Judgment. You're just like, this is just bulk. I mean, you got Wrath of God. Wrath of God was in the list slot, I think, in Strixhaven. So here's a Wrath of God in the list. So you can actually open Day of Judgment and Wrath of God in the same pack, which is kind of funny. Fine Strike is a common, goes in Feather. Divine Gambit is just completely unplayable. Ephemerate is a cool card. It's at rare. Of course, it was a common all the way to rare. So again, any playable card goes to rare in bunny quotes. Any not so playable, decent card that might not even be playable, Divine Gambit, unplayable. Gift of Estates, it's okay. God's Willing is a rare. Manti is a rare. Revitalize, just unplayable. Swords of Plowshare is a rare. They did not have this in historic. So they wanted to juice up this set just to sell packs, but as you can see, the only playable cards are, like, this is semi-playable. Here, Ephemerate is playable. This is definitely playable. This is playable. These other cards, I mean, these cards are Feather cards. It goes in a Feather EDH deck, that's it. But those are the white cards. So at least they have Teferi's Protection, very playable. Here. When we get to the green section, I want to have my huge gripe about what green does. And then there's a blue section here. You do get Counterspell, which is reprint, which is modern legal, but just this looks so not blue to me. It looks so yellow. And there are 12 cards instead of 11 blue cards, 12 blue cards. I think they have three mythics each, which is cool. Okay. So as you can see here, we have the blue cards. Blue Sun Zenith, which is, decent. Good in EDH-ish. Mind Desire, not very played. It's actually banned in Legacy, so you can't even play it in Legacy. Time Warp is good. So blue is better. I think they've done a better job in blue. This is playable. Memory Lapse is really good in Historic. It's an amazing picture. Not really playable in regular, physical card form. Brainstorm is playable. Negate, actually, I'm very surprised they didn't put this in. Rare. Opt is kind of playable in Modern. So Negate's playable. So they have more playable blue cards. Tezzer's Gambit is basically in Atraxa or Proliferate decks. Strategic Planning is in Lotus Breach. Lotus Combo deck, but not really that playable. Time Warp's playable in EDH. Whirlwind Denials, that's bulk. So essentially, all these uncommons, most of them are bulk. They're worth like the 2 cents. Like these are when special things like this aren't special, then it's not. It's like, okay, do we really need special frames? I think they could have done a better job, made these like lottery cards and just put like the good cards as Brainstorm as a lottery card, maybe Time Warp as a lottery card. They didn't need to make that many different cards. Like when you open a Whirlwind Denial, it's just like whatever. Tezzer's Gambit's whatever. This is whatever. Ops, you get so many ops from different sets. It's like whatever. So this blue section is much better. Compulsive Research is not really playable here. So that is the blue. At least the mythics are decent. These two mythics are decent versus the whites. And I love this Brainstorm picture. It's very, very good. But again, it looks really yellow to me. It's not as blue. Like I want things to look blue. I guess I'm used to a traditional Magic card where they just look the color, right? Like if you look at a blue card, let's just look at some blue list cards here. It just really looks blue, right? The whole frame looks blue. Let's go black here. Of course, I really think they just did this for Historic, just to increase the hardness to get these cards in Historic versus the actual rarity in real life. Here, let's look at these cards here. All right, so we have black, the Mythics, Demonic Tutor. Of course, that's extremely playable in EDH. So this is one of the cards that they use to prime the value of this set. Crux of Fate, not really that playable. Tainted Pact is in CEDH, but not really in EDH playable. They printed it because it was a very expensive card, but now it's like less than $10. The value's been crushed because of the reprinting, which is good. It's good because when people who need a Tainted Pact for CEDH can now get it. Tendrils is not really that playable besides in Storm. Doomblade, there's much better removal than Doomblade. Duress is, uncommon, pretty good, but Doomblade's that rare. Come on, it's that rare. This thing's a common. Dark Ritual at rare. Of course, it's not legal in Historic. Eliminate, not really played. Inquisition, that was an uncommon. This is played a little bit in Modern, maybe Legacy. Sign Blood is an EDH card. I really like this in EDH show. Village Rites is okay. But as you can see here, we got some decent cards. We got that Demonic Tutor. This just made things cheaper, but not really played. So this is the play card. Dark Rituals, I haven't seen it played in regular EDH. I think people just don't want to waste a card in mana, but CEDH again. There's a lot of CEDH cards. This is CEDH. This is a little sack deck. Minorly playable. This is playable. So some playable cards here. But besides Demonic Tutor, just Mythics, hard to get. It was at rare in all Ultimate Masters. I believe if Wizards wants to make money, they'll just always print Demonic Tutor at Mythic. That's just how they roll. We'll just look at red here. So it is fun to look at the cards. I obviously like to collect things because I like to look at the cards. We have the controversial Faithless Looting, which is banned in Modern, so not that playable. Playable in a couple decks in Legacy. Playable in Spellslinger decks, in Spellslingers or Graveyard decks in EDH. But it's at rare. Gosh, it's at rare, and it's in Historic. It's kind of crazy to think about that. But let's look at the Mythics here real quick. Chaos Warp, that is like a uncommon rare level card. EDH playable only. Let's just be real with that. Mizzix Mastery. It's a cool card, but not worth that much. Increasing Vengeance, you know, it's a copy effect. So, I mean, Chaos Warp is played a lot in EDH only. This is not played. Would be played a lot in Modern, but people just like or dislike the art, whatever it is. I love the Grape Shot art. It's one of my favorite arts here. Urza's Rage is not really playable. This is semi-playable. Stone Rain playable, and Ponza not really. Shock. I mean, come on, you got Lightning Bolt and Shock in the same set. I mean, why would you do that to me? Yeah, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, but this set is just, it was fun to collect, but I feel like it was just, the value is just gone. And these cards are hard, you know, Increasing Vengeance. I wish they had better red cards. Like, I can't think for example, but just more playable cards. And maybe just decrease the rarity. Like maybe one, just do like a list, like one every, you know, like list cards like this. One every 4 packs, and have better cards. But you know, it is what it is. It happened already. All right, so this is what bothers me the most. There's 11 green cards. This card right here, Channel. They always print Channel at Mythic, and it is the worst card to pull. The reason it's the worst card to pull is, I believe, it is banned in every format. You just cannot play this unless you're playing a casual deck or you're playing Vintage, and Vintage people don't even want to play this. That's the worst part. Pulling this card, they had Iconic Masters. It's like, yes, it's an iconic card, but you literally just cannot play this in any format. So why have this card? It's so annoying. This is what bothers me the most, is that they would just include a card like this. They know it's unplayable because they know the ban list. Abundant Harvest is really cool because it's actually pretty common in Modern Horizons. They upped it to rare. It's kind of crazy, but it's a really cool card. This is definitely playable. But like, you have Abundant Harvest and Adventurous, like Impulse. Why would you play this when you have Abundant Harvest? Cultivate. Actually, I'm actually surprised it printed at Uncommon. Harmonize. People don't really play it anymore. Regrowth. You know, I have Balged Recovery. Snakeskin Veil. Not really playable. These are like, this is a sideboard card. Weather Storm and like Against Burn maybe. Corrosive Grip. This is playable. Primal Command at Mythic. This is disappointing. Natural Order at Mythic. I understand. Okay, that's fine. I agree with this. The only thing in Mythic I agree with is the Time Warp, Natural Order, Teferi's Protection, and Demonic Tutor. Well, Demonic Tutor should be at rare, but anyways, this is the set right here. As you can see, the green cards. I'm just so annoyed. Every time I open a channel, I'm just like, really, why? I've opened many channels. I think they had channels in another Master set as well. I forgot, it was like Eternal Masters or something. And every time you just like, this card's banned everywhere. Then we have our multicolor. They include only the enemy colors ones, because that's what Strixhaven is about, enemy colors. They did have a secret layer with the ally colors. Cool. Now, these are, when I say playable, I mean this is playable in Modern. That's about it. I haven't seen this in EDH. Gross Brow is an EDH card. D-Spark's an EDH card. Putrefy is a semi-EDH card. So these are semi-playable. Electrolyze is not played. Just put it down here. Yeah. So, I mean, I did collect these because, you know, I bought a lot of Strixhaven. I actually did not open a Demonic Tutor. I'm actually really sad. Probably two cases maybe. No Demonic Tutor. It's kind of crazy. That's the only card I really wanted was Demonic Tutor. However, my brother opened one single pack, and guess what he opened? This Demonic Tutor. So I took that from him, of course. I'm not collecting the Japanese one because this one is expensive, and it's actually an etched. If you look closely, it's the etched foil Demonic Tutor. I'm not sure you can see that in the picture, but it is an etched foil Demonic Tutor right there. Worth the same as a non-etched foil. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, these are the archives I have. This is the full set. I have, you know, obviously I have some Japanese ones. This looks here. I've sold some of the Japanese ones. I don't really care for them too much because I cannot read them. And some people are like, oh yeah, people play with Japanese cards. You can look it up. But it's like, the idea is I can't look it up because I can't type this in a computer. I think this is, actually I have no idea what card this is. I'm not going to try. I know this is like Cultivate right here. Yeah, so it's hard to look these up because I just literally can't type this in the computer. I just have to guess at it. I have some foil cards. Might as well show these off while I'm here. You know, some foil cards, Source of Plowshares. These aren't worth that much. Only come a couple a box, like 2 a box maybe. Dark Ritual, Duress. Dark Ritual's cool right here. He's got like a third hand here. It's kind of weird, like a little mysterious third hand. Tainted Pact. That used to be worth a lot. Now it's not worth anything. Mizzix's Mastery. It's kind of disappointing to get this in foil. Abundant Harvest looks cool in foil. I like this Abundant Harvest picture better than the other one. And then you have the gilded or etched foil. Oh my god, this looks... What a trip calling these etched foils. All right, there's like barely foil. I'm not even sure what it's called foil. I just call it gilded cards. These are worth just the same as their non-foil counterparts. So they're not even that special. Got Natural Order, which is really cool. So those are the cards here. And, you know, I enjoy collecting these things. But after putting these in decks, I just like didn't enjoy the coloration on them. They were just too yellow. And the thing is, like, if I wanted to make a deck, I'd want to make a deck full of a bunch of these cards. But yet I can't. They're just so varied in playability in different formats. So it's like I can't make a full deck of... Maybe I could get Lightning Bolts and Lightning Helixes in one deck, but, you know, I can't. I'm not put Shock and Lightning Bolt in the same deck. That's crazy. So it's like it's hard to find a deck that has all these. I have a Storm deck, the Epic Storm, that has Grape Shot, Brainstorm, Dark Ritual in the deck, but it is what it is. I'm just not gonna play these cards in decks because I actually put them in decks. I actually got 4 foil Dark Rituals put in my Epic Storm deck, and I just like, after just looking at the yellow and looking at like a regular Dark Ritual, I just like the black on a Dark Ritual better. All right, anyways, this is enough of my rambling. I think I've rambled way too long here. If you enjoyed this video, enjoy watching me recap the Strixhaven Mystical Archives, even though, you know, I was a little negative, but, you know, that's just my honest opinion. Give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Again, I have my affiliate link in the description below, TCGplayer. And as always, have a wonderful day.